Let's dive right into the energy market. Earlier this week, OPEC announced a surprise production cut of around 1.16 million barrels of crude per day starting in the month of May. The move sent oil prices sharply higher, crude up about 7% this week or so, making energy the best performing sector during that span. And through the swings, though they've been kind of wild as of late, oil is basically, believe it or not, flat for the year. It's been a roller coaster ride. Nat gas, on the other hand, has fallen more than 50% since the start of 2023. Prices, by the way, hovering at their lowest level since September of 2020. So what's the next big deal, big thing for the energy complex? We'll get the names to buy in both oil and gas with Tortoise Capital's Rob Thummel. Also, with the view from the top and the C-suite, EQT CEO Toby Rice. So, Toby, let's kick it off with you and look at the big picture for nat gas first. I'm not asking you to make a prediction on prices. I know that that's not what you do. I will take my time, rather, to ask about the structural state of nat gas in America. Is this a time where you feel like you can keep producing more?
Let's look at the structural state of American energy in context of what's going on the world stage. You know, when we see issues, external factors like OPEC and how that influences prices, it affects the energy security for Americans. It's easy for some to look at that and say the sun is setting on American energy independence. But when we look at and take stock at what we have in this country, we realize that the sun is setting on a renewed birth of American energy freedom. And that is going to come in the form of natural gas. When you look at what this country can do, if we can unleash American energy, we will have the potential to add an amount of energy to the world stage that would be equivalent to adding an amount of energy equivalent to Saudi Arabia. It's a massive potential, but we need to make the choice to unleash American energy, and that will open up a new era of energy and energy security, not only for us as Americans, but for our allies around the world.
I don't, Toby, I don't ever want to confuse oil with natural gas. I mean, they're part of the energy complex, but they're independent in some ways of each other. But we saw how sensitive the American public is to energy prices and food prices. We saw extreme evidence of that over the last year. Do you think that experience with those higher oil prices and higher food prices has given Americans a different perspective, and maybe politicians and lawmakers a different perspective on how they treat energy prices in the future?
Absolutely. I think you look at the chaos that was set on the world stage with the disruptions that took place with Russia, and you look back in 22 and realize, what did the world learn? It learned that energy security matters, and without energy security, bad things happen, like rampant inflation, and also people's ability to transition falls flat and stops. And the other important lesson is to look at, where did the world turn for that energy security? They turned to American energy. They turned to U.S. LNG on the world stage. And if that's the solution for a lot of these issues, the good news is we've got the ability to do a whole lot more. And the amount of natural gas we have in this country, we can increase production over 50%. And that would allow us to quadruple our LNG exports. And like I said, that would be like adding a Saudi Arabia of clean energy to the world stage. And that would bring energy security back, not only for Americans, but for our allies around the world.
Toby, what's the story around the use of natural gas as a quote unquote transition fuel? There are a lot of folks out there, regardless of what end of the political spectrum you're on, there is an evolution that will happen over the next several decades to clean energy. There is a movement away from hydrocarbons. Natural gas, while still kind of hydrocarbon-esque, is seen as a bridge or transition fuel. Is there a secular future for nat gas if that's the way it's treated?
Well, when we look at the transition in context to emissions, let's understand where the biggest source of emissions on the planet is, and it's foreign coal. Coal emissions make up the significant portion of emissions in this world. Almost half of the emissions come from foreign coal. And we can use natural gas to replace those emissions from coal. And the question is, how big of an opportunity is this? Foreign coal, it would take about 180 BCF a day of natural gas to replace foreign coal. Our plan to unleash American energy, unleash U.S. LNG, would be responsible for taking a massive bite of about 60 BCF a day out of that. That's going to take some time to put in place, but certainly it's going to secure the future of American natural gas